My esteemed colleagues and I are here today to expose and put a halt to an ill-conceived, multi-billion-dollar, obsolete transportation project. It is the 5-mile 710 tunnel. We all stand against this mistake of a project, and I urge my colleagues on the MTA board to eliminate it from their consideration. You know, large visionary projects are things we deal with all the time at the MTA. But this tunnel idea is ill-conceived. It is impossible to fund and will do nothing to solve our traffic and mobility issues in the region. It is a step backwards. It is an anachronism. It's an attempt to shove an Eisenhower administration transportation plan onto contemporary Los Angeles.
In this century, America has become a nation on wheels. We ride on wheels to work, to shop, to play, to go about any place we want to go. We depend on wheels to bring us the food we eat, the clothes we wear, the things we use. But when we depend on wheels, we depend also on highways and roads and streets for the wheels to roll on. And therein lies the challenge, building highways and roads and streets fast enough to keep up with the need. After World War II, the nation began developing a case of acute congestion that cost us millions of dollars a year in time, equipment, and lives. By 1956, there were more than 65 million cars on our roads, with 90 million forecast by 1975. Clearly, it was a time for national action. Congress responded with the Federal Aid Highway Act of 1956, providing the staggering sum of $51 billion to be spent by the states on highway construction by 1971. The most talked about phase of the act is the interstate highway system, a 41,000-mile network of our most important roads. Most of these roads will be 4, 6, even 8-lane expressways constructed for through traffic. They will take the over-the-road driver from city to city, coast to coast, at highway speeds, even through large population centers. The Federal Aid Highway Act offers relief to the local driver, too, by giving him easy access to his home, work, stores, without interference from through traffic. Billions of dollars will be spent for city streets and expressways and for other highways of the primary system.
It is all about mobility, and this gap in the 710 North doesn't allow for mobility on all of our freeways to be used at its highest level of moving around. Completing this gap will enhance mobility throughout the whole region.
Come out and say, I 100% support the tunnel option, a full-bore tunnel all the way under El Sereno, all the way under South Pasadena, saving millions of dollars of trees and property restored to the tax base, and providing us with some traffic relief that will increase the property values on El Molino and Los Robles from the cut-through traffic that's going through our neighborhoods today because
710 will ease congestion. Not just, they're saying, first of all, don't worry about the trucks, but they're also saying the 710 is going to be a godsend in terms of clearing congestion out of our freeways out of Pasadena. Not true. And Mike and I share slides, so we both are very familiar from 10 years ago when the 210 freeway opened further east. And I will admit that if you're trying to get out to like Big Bear or something, it's really nice that freeway opened up out there for that purpose. But we all know what it did to the 210 freeway here through Pasadena. It made traffic much worse. But that's not what they told us. They promised us. They said this is going to ease congestion, take this gap closure will remove cars from local streets. This was the advertising for this extension. But as Mike showed, this was the reality. The green line is when the freeway opened. And instantaneously, the traffic on the 210 freeway through our area spiked dramatically. Car traffic went from 200 to 250. Truck traffic went from 12 to 18,000 a day, instantaneously because of that expansion. Now, what's going to happen here? Well, this is Metro Zone study, so you kind of have to take it with a grain of salt that this is best case. But this is from Metro's latest report they put out just about a month ago. And what it shows is, so here's the tunnel coming up into Pasadena. Significant increases in traffic all the way up here through northeast Pasadena on the 210, because that's where the cars are principally going to go. More traffic going through West Pasadena on the 134. Now, Metro thinks there isn't going to be much of a change on the 210. I don't believe it, but like I said, this is best case, except they do admit that because I showed you how there isn't going to be an exit until you get onto the 210, they admit that Lake Avenue is going to be getting a lot worse, and it will. This is another study that was done, and I know this is sort of a little bit hard to focus on, but what you should actually focus on is, see, this is without the tunnel, and this is with the tunnel, and basically sort of more pleasing colors like green or no traffic, and more warning colors like reds or lots of traffic. And the fascinating thing, there are a couple of things I want to point out in this map. So this is if they don't build the tunnel, this is if they do build the tunnel. So this is Los Robles Avenue, which is, you know, one of the main rationales for this tunnel. Let's take cars off the local streets.
Traffic relief that will increase the property values on El Molino and Los Robles from the cut-through traffic that's going through our neighborhoods today.
Los Robles, it shows, is a congested street. We all know that, red. But with the tunnel, no difference. But here's where the difference is. Up here through northeast Pasadena, the 210 freeway, once you get past this awful interchange, is actually a fairly tolerable freeway. But with the tunnel, red. They're going to take the congestion problem and bring it to this neighborhood.